Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Amelie Maran Podcast. Today I'm joined with Grace, who is one of my longtime best friends, and we're going to be talking about travel, moving around, and a bit of girl chat too. So let's start off with, how are you? How's your week been?
I'm good. I've had a really good week. I've just been working.
Well, we went for coffee the other day, didn't we?
Yes, and we went to Loon, which is a really good
So nice.
croissant place in Melbourne.
Yeah, they had like the biggest croissant and like it's like a whole pastry like
operation.
Yeah, it's like a whole thing and they're very like serious. They take it very seriously. Yeah. And people were sitting in there like doing, what was it, croissant tasting or something?
Yeah.
All these
so
different
good.
flavors.
It's
and like,
so good.
It was so good. It was so good.
And then we went to Sibi, which is like a little Japanese coffee shop where Harry Styles actually went.
Oh,
when he was here on tour.
It did feel very Harry Styles, to be fair.
Yeah.
The aesthetic in there was so nice. Like everything we were picking up was like, I want to buy this. Yeah. This is good. Okay, so I feel like we should tell everybody how we actually met and how long we've known each other. We've known each other a very long time. Since we were probably like...
7?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, 7. 8 or 7. We met at one school, like our primary school together.
I started in like year 1 though. Did you start in year 1?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I did, yeah. Maybe it was then. How old were we? Must have been like 6, no? We were very young.
Yeah, we were very young. And we both started in year 1 in London, and now we're both in Australia.
That's kind of crazy.
That's so crazy. And I can't exactly remember how we met.
Yeah, I don't remember like
who came over to who.
Yeah, I don't remember being like, oh, I'm going to go and talk to her.
Yeah.
We just sort of became friends. The first time I went to your house is like one of the funniest stories. I think I don't even remember this that well. But I think I came over to your house. You just had your house like fully recarpeted, like fully all nice cream carpets. And then we were messing around with blue nail polish or something. And we had, I don't know, it spilt or something. And your mum was like standing at the bottom of the stairs like, okay, you need to go now. And suddenly she came up the stairs and there were these blue drops of this nail varnish just like leading to your bedroom. And I think we'd both spilt it or like, I don't know what had happened.
And my mum's crazy. Crazy clean freak.
Bless her, she just got these brand new cream carpets. All I remember from it is that I remember you went and sat on your bed in the middle of the room and you were like, you need to go now.
You got to go.
You like blamed it on me. But it might have been me, I don't remember, but I just remember being like, oh, okay, we're not playing anymore. And then I think my mum had to like apologise so much to your mum. Was like, I'm so sorry. I don't even know how.
I don't remember this at all. I remember you telling me the other day, but I don't remember this at all.
No, I remember this so vividly. I feel like whenever you're brought up, like my mum will tell this story to anybody because it's just like, the way it was like a brand new play date. Also, I was like my mom's first kid, so it's like, oh, my kid's like on a play date.
So good,
yeah. So cute. And just like, you've just fucked it up because you've just got...
You're never going to be invited anywhere.
You're not going to have any friends. It's like, why would you do this? So,
my biggest memory is when we used, and it's so crazy now because I say it on like people's TikToks and stuff, and they were like, when we were younger we used to do this, and I was like, I swear it was the only one. But it's like when girls used to like make a whole dance routine and perform it to their parents to try and have a sleepover.
100%. I think that was because at the time my mum had just given birth to my youngest sister, so she was like baby and it was like, you can't have a sleepover, you guys will be too loud, like you'll wake the baby. And we were like, no, we won't. And at the time we were also redoing either a whole floor or like someone's bedroom, and they were having cupboards built in and like wardrobes. And we used to stand in this wardrobe and be like, this is like the praying chamber. No, what was it called? Like the thinking chamber.
Yeah.
They'll let us have a sleepover. And
you'd like manifest a sleepover.
And then we used to do PowerPoint presentations.
Like honestly, the drive we had at, like as an 8-year-old, I wish I had it now.
We do like dance routines and be like, look, we have to work on this together. Like we need to sleep.
We're only halfway through. And I remember we also, I don't know if you still know this guy, so I can't really say it.
Say it and I can beep it.
But we both had the biggest crush on I don't remember his last name.
Oh, I don't remember who this is.
Oh my god.
Now you say it, I'm like, maybe I do remember.
I loved him and you loved him and I think he loved you and not me. And I loved him. I can't remember his name. And he moved to Australia.
Was he blonde?
No, I think he...
No! I know exactly who you're talking about.
And his parents moved to Australia or something like that. So then he...
Yes.
What was his name?
He had like the long Justin Bieber hair. He was always playing Kiss Chase. Yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. How do you remember him?
I don't know.
I don't know him.
I never forget a boy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you got a bit picked on, but I can't remember.
Oh yeah, so there was this girl that picked on... I don't really remember it that well anymore, but like she wasn't very nice to me at the school we went to together. And I remember, I think my mum thought that it was you, the one that was like picking on me. So she like came in all guns blazing, like that Grace girl. And then I think this was before we were like friends, like play date friends. We were friends at school. I think it obviously turned out that it wasn't you picking on me.
And I was the one sticking up for you.
Yeah, you were the one like being like, don't do that to
I was
her.
like, no, I'm being the good one.
One.
I remember that. And then you moved schools.
Yes, I moved schools. But then how we've like stayed friends, I think is...
Well, actually, I remember when I moved here. I moved here when I was like 10, 11.
Yeah.
And you used to send me like full on packages. Do you remember that?
Yes, and we used to Skype so much.
Yeah, we used to Skype and like sit on the computers, and you used to send me packages with like so much stuff in them, and I can't believe my parents let us do that because the shipping is so expensive. But we used to send like these like books, photos,
I got a lot of postcards from you, to be fair.
Yes, there were so many things we used to be like pen pals.
No, I remember because I would not FaceTime, didn't have FaceTime at that point, but I would Skype you.
Yeah.
And I would just take my mum's laptop and be like sitting in a room. It's like summer, we're in Spain, like at family's house. And everyone's like, why aren't you enjoying the pool? And it's like, because I'm Skyping Grace in 10 minutes. And then we would sit there for like 5 hours. Like we would sit there for hours. We would go off and do our own things, but it was like, yeah, but she's like...
I fully remember this. And now here we are, and you're here.
I know. It's actually crazy. Also, I think when you're younger, you have such a perception... I mean, still when you're older, but like when you're younger, Australia is like...
so far away.
Like, it's so far away. And also, you didn't move straight to Australia. You like went to...
America for a while.
You didn't like go and move and start a new school right away, did you?
No, my family is very random. So... For context, my dad's Australian and my mum's English. My dad moved over to Australia, started up like a whole garden nursery. And then my older brother finished primary school and I'm like a year below him. And they were like, okay, life swap. So we all packed up, all of our stuff went on a container ship and then we moved.
I remember the moving vans. I remember being at your house and being like,
yes.
I can't believe they're packing.
I remember you were there.
Yeah, and you guys had like a leaving party.
Yeah.
And we bought matching tops but in like different colours.
I ended up going home early with someone that night and I don't know why I did that.
Oh, 8-year-old you.
Woo!
Scandalous. Right.
Yeah, I know.
Who was taking you?
Anyway, never leave the party early.
It was like literally round the corner from your house. Like,
yeah.
It was not far.
That was actually fun though. I remember that. There's still photos of that.
But I remember us going shopping for those outfits and it was like, we can't get the same thing, but we need to look like sisters.
Yeah, do we wear like sequins?
No, we were wearing, I think I still have photos of us. It was like,
purple, blue, and black, and yes, and it was like an off shoulder, and it was like black and blue, and you wore a purple and blue or something. Purple, black. Oh my gosh, how
we literally looked like witches.
But yeah, so anyway, aside from our leaving party, my parents, had the life swap, moved here, and then, because all of our stuff in the container ship takes so long, it takes like 2 months or something to get here.
Really? I didn't know that.
Maybe even longer. So they were like, okay, let's delay and go around America for 2 months. So we all went around America and then we just like didn't do school. I don't know. And then we moved here and they just we've now moved to like a very small coastal town, which is very weird being like London kids to a coastal town.
Yeah. And what, you grew up by the coast or did you grow up more in Melbourne, would you say?
grew up by the coast in like a foresty thing. And
In
I
the
remember when
forest.
we first moved here, my mum was like walking down the coastal town main street in like heels and like a biker jacket, and like everyone is like barefoot. My mum was like, "What the fuck?" Oh yeah, we moved to this local coastal school, and I remember the weirdest thing when I first went to that school was like, here you have to wear like hats because it's sunny.
Oh.
So like at recess and lunch, also you're in a school uniform, which I didn't have at home.
Yeah, of course.
And you have to like, when you go out to play, you have to put a hat on. And I always did my hair in a bun because I had so much hair. So
Yeah, your hair is very thick.
The like fucking hat thing would just cover my bun and not actually my face. Do you know what I mean? It's like a bug hat, but it'd be off my head. And it was so embarrassing. And I had to be a coastal girl, and I'm going in the water all the time. My hair is so much, and I was like, oh my god. No. But yeah, so that's my life in a snippet.
Yeah. So you have travelled. Where is your favourite place that you've travelled to? Because you've been around.
I've been around.
You've done like almost every continent, no?
Yeah,
Or if not all of them, apart from like...
Antarctica
Yeah.
and South America. Probably, I don't know, I love places for different reasons. Like I love culture a lot. So probably like India.
Why?
Or like Morocco.
Oh, okay.
Like similar.
Yeah. Why would you say those places?
Sometimes you can go somewhere, say, I mean, if you go back to London or you come here, like, yes, maybe they're patriotic, but there's like not much culture. Whereas when you go there, you're like immersed in culture, and you could do nothing, but you could like sit outside and just watching the people. It's like so incredible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Because you were in India for, was it 2 months?
Yeah, like 2.5 months.
You went for like, that's quite a long time.
When I was 18. By myself. Literally flew by myself. Like, what sort of, like, who gave you the confidence to do that? Like, I remember all the mums at school would be like, get angry at my mum and be like, why are you letting your kids solo travel India at 18? And I don't know why she let me do that.
But what like attracted you to India? Was it because you'd never been, or was it like the culture in itself? Or...
I don't know why. I guess because growing up in Europe and then coming here, I'd kind of seen both of them, and most people from here tend to just go back to Europe.
Oh, okay.
They never
don't explore as much.
They don't really go to South America, or like I guess Asia. They'll go to like Thailand, or there's very like specific routes for Australian young people to go. And then I was like, oh, but like I've grown up there, so we used to go to France, and like and then I thought, where can I go that I haven't been? And my parents raved about India because they got engaged in the south of India.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
in
so
Kerala.
nice.
And then mum had been there a lot, and dad had been there a lot, and my nana loved it. And everyone I spoke to was like, oh, you'd love India. I was in the boarding house when I was 18. There was a girl living with me at the time who was Indian.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so like fate.
Yes. And
Clearly
I was
fate.
like, oh, I don't know what I want to do when I finish school. And I was not like a huge academic person. And I was like, I can't go straight into uni. I was like, maybe I'll come see you in India. So then I just went over and I absolutely fell in love.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
So you went to technically see her, or you just went to India? And
I went to see her. So she picked me up on the other end of the airport.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you like knew someone there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And even that flight was crazy though, because like the second leg I got on when I was like arrived at Delhi, which is like the main kind of city, and then I flew to Kolkata, which is like bordering Nepal kind of at the top. The internal flight, I was the only girl on the flight.
Really?
Like the only girl. And I was like, me, 18, being like, oh my God. I was like, someone be nice. I don't know what to do. And the air hostess could see I was like scared.
Oh.
So she like the flight was quite empty. So she put me in not just like a single like 3. She cleared out the entire row of like, so people like couldn't even like stare down and look at me. She like cleared out the 2 behind and in front.
Oh my god.
So I had 3 side to side
You're
rows.
chilling.
I know.
Oh my god.
I know.
What? And that's because you were like clearly a bit like
uncomfortable, scared. It was also the middle of the night, and I had just got off the long haul flight, which was like Melbourne to
Delhi.
Delhi, which was I don't know how many hours. And then I was like, oh, maybe my boots are too big. Like,
I had too much confidence.
yeah, it's like someone take me home.
And then you went to Morocco. How long ago? Was that whilst you were
In Amsterdam? Yeah, I went to Morocco I didn't actually go for that long.
Was it like a holiday?
Yes.
It wasn't like
No, it wasn't maybe
stay
like
for
a week, a bit
kind of
longer.
thing.
Yeah. I mean, Morocco was definitely a place where I'd be like, oh, I want to go back. Have you been?
No, Sam was meant to go. And
Yeah.
then there was the horrible earthquake. Literally the day before his flight. And so obviously they cancelled all the flights and they were like, you can't go anymore or whatever. So yeah, he was meant to go. And then natural disaster sort of went.
You should go there.
No. My parents have been there. They love Morocco.
So cool.
Yeah.
And the men are so beautiful. So beautiful. Like, I was like, oh my God.
Amazing.
It's really funny because the men like yell at you quite a bit. And all my friends were like, oh my God, keep walking. Like, oh, they're yelling. And I was like, hey, what's up? Like, they would all like yell out. And I would fully yell back. And they're like, I got like called like the flirt on the trip was like my nickname. Because they would all be like, they have like juice stalls. And they would be like, like pretty lady, you want to, like spice girl, you want to like a juice or something? And all my friends would be like, keep walking. I'd be like, oh yeah. It's like, how much your juice? And I would talk to everyone and they're like, Grace, you have to stop. Like, you're going to get us in trouble.
But is Morocco is it dangerous when you're there?
No.
Do you feel that? Or is it like stereotypically seen as dangerous? It's kind of like South America.
Yes.
Like,
there's
navigate it well.
Yes.
But, you know.
Yeah, it's like, I think you hear from one person that a place is dangerous and everyone's like, oh,
I'm not going
dangerous.
there.
And it's like, Melbourne's dangerous. Everywhere's dangerous.
Yeah.
Like, there's bad
we kept
people
doing
everywhere.
that when we were traveling. It was like people would tell us places were dangerous, and then we were like, well, Sam's from like just outside Manchester, and I'm from London, and like those places are dangerous. These places are they are dangerous for different reasons. I know how to handle myself in those situations, and if I don't, then I don't, and you just have to. Like
I would say London is dangerous, and I remember before I went,
it's become very dangerous. To be fair,
and I would say before I went to India. Lol, random. Why am I so well traveled? I went to New York before.
Dipped into New York.
Sorry, I just want to stay over in New York. And I remember coming back and then going to India, and I said, like, I felt more unsafe in New York.
Really?
Than I ever did in India. Or like Morocco. Like, sure, people will like stare at you, or like when I went to rural parts of India, like people stare at you, and I originally was like quite threatened by that, and then towards the end I was like, oh, you've probably just never seen someone who looks like me before, and you're like fascinated, or you're like intrigued.
I'm gonna try and turn this positive.
Yes. And then I was like,
instead of you want to kill me,
and like them staring at me, I was like, ooh, like get away. And then by the end I was like, hi. I was like I'm Grace. And it was like fine.
One thing I do want to ask about India is like, do you think there was like a language barrier at all with where you were staying or anything? Or do like a lot of people speak English, or were you learning some of the language, or like how did you kind of navigate that?
Oh my God, I think the only thing I know is me bok,
which means that
I'm hungry. I'm pretty sure that's how you say it. No, there's lots of different languages they speak in India. So like, even if you can speak one, it doesn't apply to like another area. like dialects. I'm pretty sure that's true. I hope that's right.
Yeah, no, I think it is true. I'm just curious if like I've asked a lot of people that have been to Asia, like specifically Southeast Asia, like how they get around. Yeah. Like, is it because people speak English, or are you just sort of like gesturing? Like, how do people communicate? Because for example, in South America, it's Spanish, which is something you in the UK learn in school, so it's like they have the basics down, and you can kind of communicate.
I would say they do speak English. Young people speak English.
Okay.
Older people don't. Most, if not all, the young people will speak English, but the older people can't, so it is a lot of like
just navigate a lot.
Yeah, but they're also probably have spent their whole lives doing the awkward like sign language kind of.
Right.
I never felt like no one understood what I was trying to say.
Yeah. There was no like frustration of
No.
I can't seem to
No.
communicate what I want to you.
And they're all like so slow and patient. Also, I always felt like I was the idiot. Like I've never gone to a place and like expected them to speak English. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I don't know. I have literally come to your country.
Yeah.
And now I'm expecting you to understand what I'm saying. That's so ignorant of me to not have like attempted to learn anything.
For us, it was a lot of, if you couldn't say the complex things in Spanish, it was a lot of like Google Translate, and like they seemed, the people in Latin America seemed very used to like just reading Google Translate and just being like, oh, okay. And then they would speak in Spanish what they wanted to say, and then it would translate to English so we could read it. And like that was a lot of the more complex language. Like we could get by day to day, and like my Spanish is good and obviously improved whilst we were there. If there were specific medications we needed at the pharmacy, or it's like I can't really get this wrong, and thinking even on calculator, like
that's what they do a lot in India. They will like pull out a calculator and show you like a number on the calculator, and you can like put the number back in.
Yeah, exactly.
If we were really struggling to know something, there was always someone who they would be like, hey Johnny, like come come
I'm
say what she's saying. They'll be like, oh, I'll go get my son or someone who can.
What is the funniest or most embarrassing story from traveling?
Why would you say
I can't finish this. You don't have to tell the story I'm thinking of.
There's one I have. I'm pretty gross. Like and this is not that story.
Okay.
But like I'm pretty like, I'm not a germaphobe.
Okay.
And one time when I was in India, I was going around this like temple, and it was like kind of a full day thing. And we went in the off-peak season, so it was like 45 degrees.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I didn't bring a drink bottle where we were going. And I was like, I got to this point and we were going around this.
You could have passed out.
Yes, we were going around this temple and I'm like, I'm going to pass out. And everyone there is like, don't drink the water, don't drink the water. And I was like, no, I need to. And there was like nothing anywhere. Like there was no little like shops where you could like buy anything. And then I saw all these like local people surrounded by this like water fountain thing. I was like, I'm gonna have to drink the water. Like, I'm just gonna have to. There was like this huge line, and I remember they all like turned around and looked at me and being like, you're not allowed to like drink this. And I was like, I have to. Like, I'm going to pass out. And then they were all drinking out of this communal cup that was like chained to the thing. It was like just like a stainless steel kind of cup. But like the way they did it, they would like pour it into their mouth so the cup wouldn't actually touch like their lips. And I was so thirsty, and I just literally grabbed this communal cup and like filled it up, and I just drunk out of it, and I was like drinking, and they're all looking at me like, oh my
she's
God,
gonna die.
She's gonna get it. And I was just like, and I remember all like, I can't remember who I was with, and they were like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Anyway, I was completely fine.
Oh.
Nothing wrong with me.
I feel like you're not a germaphobe because you have a good immune system. Oh, tell the story about you getting banned.
Can I even say that? I moved to Amsterdam for like a school exchange, a uni exchange. I stayed in like a school campus. There's like a supermarket that's like 5 minutes from the campus. It became like the supermarket where all the young people went. Amsterdam's expensive. Like, it's so expensive. And then one day I went to the supermarket and like, I was like, oh, I'm not going to like buy this bottle of wine. But I didn't do it stealthily. I didn't do it smart to like try and attempt to steal this bottle of wine. Like, I just took it obviously, but like, it was like, I was holding it, but I just like, oops, forgot to scan it. Oh my God. And then I walked out and this guy came over to me and was like, I know you just stole that bottle of wine or something. And then as he was like he was like, I'm going to go get someone to tell you off. I actually passed the bottle of wine to my friend, and I said, go outside. And then she was,
okay. I thought you were like gonna let her take the blame for it.
No, and I like passed it to her, and I was like, just go away. So then he will go through my stuff and not realize that I have this bottle of wine. She like goes out. It was so humiliating because we had just moved into this place as well. So I knew everyone who was in the supermarket because it was a supermarket that was like off the campus. He comes down with 2 security guards, marches me through the entire supermarket all the way to the back to this like office room, and he's like, I know you took the bottle of wine. And I was like, we'll go through my stuff, there's no bottle of wine in there. Mind you, at that point I had stolen so much other stuff, so he's going through my whole thing. He's being like, you didn't pay for this butter, you didn't pay for this. And I was like,
how did you forget that?
I was like, oh my God. I was like, I actually cannot talk my way out of this. And then he was like, where's that bottle of wine? I saw it. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then he was
really
like...
trying to gaslight this security
And I was like, I have
guard.
no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, and then I had to message me and I was like, can you please come back with a bottle of wine? And then she like came back with it. So the option is I either call the police right now and you have the potential of being deported and like taken out of your course. And I was like, I just got here. I literally just arrived. And he was like, or you need to pay 350 euros in cash. And I was like, I just got here. Like 350 euros is like my rent. Like I was like, I can't.
That's like 700 Australian dollars.
Yes. I was like, no, like I literally can't. And then I remember saying to him, I was like, I just started crying. I was like, I'll scrub your floors. Like, just let me work. Like, don't take, like, please, no. And he was like, no, this is what's happening. And I was like, I'm just a little girl. I was like, I can't afford anything. And I was like crying. And then he walked me back through the whole supermarket and over to the ATM thing with all his little bodyguards around me. And I had to like take out the cash. Kind of dodgy a bit.
Yeah, and they were all like watching you. And
Yeah,
you're, like,
but also
trembling.
like, why do you need it in cash? Yeah, and then I had to take it out and give it to them.
Oh.
And it was so sad. And then I got a lifetime ban from the supermarket. That was the most annoying bit because it was the supermarket that was up the road. So all my friends would be like, do you want to go to the supermarket? And I'd have to give them like €2 to get me a snack, or like I'd have to bike ride up to the further away supermarket.
Was that for the whole year?
Yes. Yes.
So it's not like it lifted and you could go finally.
No.
I wonder if you return now.
I know. If they'd be like, you're the girl.
We
Even like
remember
sometimes
you.
I would bike ride past and I'd see the guy and I'd know he knows who I am. And I was like, oh.
Okay, so I have some questions here that I've got from some people that have like sent some questions in. I've also done some research and these are the most asked questions. We're gonna answer them. Okay, so the first one is how to best keep in touch with friends and family whilst traveling.
It's so hard.
Yeah, I think it depends maybe where you are as well, like the
Yeah.
time difference.
I would say like voice memos.
Yeah, little podcasts.
Yeah,
for your friends.
you can say a lot in like a little voice memo, but also
Yeah.
like it's kind of inconvenient to like schedule a call and like it's not always working, or like
Yeah, stuff comes up where you can't call them.
Or a voice memo just feels like you're more on the phone. But also when I went to Amsterdam, I fully just like cut myself off from everyone because I was like, if I'm going to immerse myself in another country, I cannot try to keep up my social life.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
In this country. I was like,
also you're there for a while,
Yeah.
so it's like,
yeah,
I'm not coming back anytime
yeah,
soon.
so I was like, I need to like give it a red hot go. Whereas if I'm
Yeah.
sending podcasts on my phone, I was like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep up my life there too much and not focusing on the one here.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about FaceTime. You know those people that are like,
Yeah.
I'm a FaceTime girl?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a FaceTime girl. I don't mind it with certain people, but
Yeah.
like, I'm a phone call person. I'm not
I'm a huge FaceTimer.
See, I just don't know if I could get on that. I don't know why, because I do FaceTime people. But anyway, I would say calling is like my favorite thing. I don't really like texting people back home.
No, it's so annoying.
We just miss each other so
Yeah.
much. I don't know if it's about like keeping up with the routine at home. But
Yeah.
you don't want to be constantly like, what's everyone doing?
Yeah,
What are
involved in the
they-
group chats
Yeah.
and like,
I take me out of the group chat. I don't
Yeah.
need to be involved. Also, it's like boring. 'Cause
Yes.
it's like, I'm not going to be there.
like
So
I don't
it's
care
like-
that so-and-so's slept with so-and-so or like,
Yeah.
oh, like I'm here.
And also I think it makes me feel a bit, depending on how you're feeling, maybe even that day, but like you'll be like, I'm kind of sad I'm not going. I feel like we've kind of answered this, but the best way to maintain long distance friendships, we've kind of spoken about it. Yeah, it's just like calling, texting.
Yeah.
Definitely, like I said, giving each other like the space to not reply right away.
Yeah, not getting angry if like someone's not replying.
You haven't called me in such a long time, like it's like I might just be busy.
But also like a part of it is like you do have to put in effort. And also I think if they're like a good long distance friend, like I have a really good friend of mine who I met in Amsterdam, like I will rarely reply to like her little blah-bahs, but like when shit hits the fan, like she'll ring me and I'll answer straight away.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, are you okay? And I'll sit there and listen, even though it could be the most inconvenient time. Like she's like
It's
the other week
3
she like
a.m.
broke up with her boyfriend and I'm like, are you okay?
And just like,
Yeah. She's like, oh, this happened. I was like, damn.
yeah, I do get what you mean. I feel like it's making sure to like put in the effort when things are good and everyone's like happy,
Yes.
but then really making sure you're there for that person if something happens. And
Yeah.
you just need to...
Because friendships work. Like, it's not like... I mean, obviously, most friendships, they should be easy in life.
How can I make new friends when living or traveling abroad?
Yeah, this is hard.
Yeah, I feel like, for me, from what I've seen, it's about where you stay.
100%.
Because, for example, like, Sam and I stayed in quite a few hostels when we were in Latin America.
Yeah.
And we met loads of people, and it felt kind of like a surge of... We've gone from not meeting anyone to all these people. But then that can, like, obviously drain your social battery. So you're like, okay, I need to be on my own again. But I feel like staying at the good hostels, like the good hostels, whatever that means, but that's where you're going to meet people if you're traveling. It depends what the culture is there. If it's like, maybe you go to a bar and you just end up meeting people, and you know, it just depends.
I reckon I was quite lucky because when I did move to Amsterdam, I was going to uni. So, you know, I'm in classes people. And like uni people are quite open to make friends and stuff like that, and I was like staying in a uni accommodation, so I was like living with 14 people in one apartment with one shower. No, disgusting.
Oh my god.
Yeah, 14 people sharing one shower. Fucking mank. And one stovetop. Disgusting. Anyway, but yeah, so I was really lucky doing that. But other than that, I would say you just kind of have to force yourself to like do social sports.
Yeah.
And working. And like, you know, it might not be advance your career to work in a cafe, but you're conversing all day with people.
Yeah.
Or like catering.
Yeah,
like,
it's true.
Yeah.
I think also you've got to like be open to the kind of people you're going to meet, because I think if you try and find people like your friends at home, it's not going to happen.
No.
Like, you need to be open-minded. For example, a lot of people traveling, I don't know what it's like in Asia, but in Latin America, a lot of people were older than us. And so we're meeting a lot of like 25, like 28-year-olds. Got on so well. But I think it was just about having that open mind of, oh, okay, you're older than me, but like, you seem pretty nice. I would hang out with you, instead of kind of being like, oh, okay, you're just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're not like my friends at home kind of thing. I think you need to just be a bit open.
Yeah, I think open to like not even ages, but like different, there's always like, you know, the expat hippie kind of people when you're traveling, and there's like maybe nerdy people, you know, those people are actually really cool. Yeah. And if you're going to be stuck up looking for the cool people, you miss out. Yeah. Like, you miss out big time. Those nerdy people or something, they're really cool and they're really interesting. And if you're like trying to look for the fashion girl or like the other pretty girl, it's like, you miss out. Yeah. You're also just like completely prejudging everything. Yes. When actually a lot of the people we met in hostels were just people that came up to us and said, hi, I'm solo traveling, do you mind if I just sit with you guys? And it's like, cool. And then we spend the whole evening chatting, and they're not maybe somebody that they like we would approach, because also we were a couple, so I think it's quite intimidating. Yeah, 100%. You've got two people being like, hi, can we sit with you? And it's like, it's just me and him. Yeah, okay. I definitely think as like a solo traveler, you just have to put yourself out there. 100%. And it is so embarrassing. Trust me, I've had to do it. It is so embarrassing. Like, I remember once there was this really cool girl in the supermarket that I'm banned from. And she was like looking at this section thing, and I like went over and I was like, the ham looks good, or like some stupid shit. I can't even remember what I said, but I said something like, just like sparked a conversation. Anyway, she ended up being really good friends with me. And there was like another girl who was like sitting at uni, and she was just like sitting by herself and like sitting on the step. And I remember just going over and being like, literally just sat next to her. She could have been so busy or found out really bad news. I was like, hi, I'm Grace. And we ended up going for a coffee. I know. Shout out Amelia. She's from Montreal. Like, it's, oh, fair. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And like, you just meet all these random people. And then she introduced me to another girl called Bridget, who was from Boston. And then I had the whole little group, and they're who I went to Morocco with.
Oh, fair.
From literally, if I hadn't have just gone over to this one girl and just said like, sitting by herself in the middle of uni and just being like, hey, I wouldn't have gone to Morocco. Instead, that was like one of my coolest places.
The more people you meet as well, people are from all over the world. Yeah. And so you're like making friends. Like, now if you went to Montreal, it's like, oh, I'd love to come see you. Or, you know, like, you have people kind of stationed around the world.
And that's sick.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. How do you deal with homesickness or FOMO?
I was very homesick in India, only because it was such a culture shock when I first got there. And I was like, it was nothing like home. And I was so young. And I found it really like, I guess, honestly threatening at the start because I was like, I don't know anyone. I'm so lonely. Everyone speaks a different language. Thankfully, I was fortunate enough that my mum actually came out and met me. And that was really lovely because also, like, you know, when your mum's there and you can kind of just be a kid and you don't need to worry about anything. So that was really nice having my mum. But in Amsterdam's very similar to here. And I wasn't homesick, I guess, because I knew I had an end date, that I was just like, be a yes girl, say yes to everything. And I actually really never got homesick. I went over there in like an awkward relationship dynamic, I guess. So that was hard. And that made me want to be home. But long story short, don't go away in a relationship. Seriously.
Fair.
I don't know. I just don't get it.
Yeah, see, I'm quite a homebody. I get really...
I'm not.
I can't, like, saying goodbye to people, I'm not good. Like, I hate it. It's so bad. Like, I don't know why. It's always been the case. Like, that's just how I am. I would say homesickness was like, I actually didn't speak to my parents for the first week when I went to Mexico because I was like, I'm actually just too scared. I'm just going to like cry. I don't want to come home. Yeah. It's not like I'm homesick. Like, I need to get on the flight and I hate this. It's just like, oh, I'm away from you. Like, this is weird. And also, when I said goodbye, this is goodbye for I don't know how long. Like, this could be 3 years. I might not come home from Australia. Like, you never know.
See, that's what's hard when you don't have an end date.
I dealt with homesickness not speaking to my family just to like try and create the distance, and I think also try and create memories that I was excited to tell them about. If I could go home for like an hour, have a cup of tea with everyone and then come back, like, I would do it. I know. That kind of homesick.
And some people, their homesick is bad enough that they're like, no.
Yeah, I know some people who went to Central America.
They can't do it.
And then you were like meant to do South, and then they were just like, I'm too homesick. Also, we couldn't really come home because like we had our flight from Chile to Australia, so it was like,
you got to do it.
Whatever happens, you have to get on that flight. It costs so much money.
Yeah.
I would just say like keeping in contact with people. FOMO.
And also, not like there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
And I think in your head, you think that you're missing out.
Yeah.
And then rest assured, the moment your plane lands, you realize you should not have left. Wherever you were, you're like, get me back. And every single time, but when you leave, you're crying because you're leaving.
Yeah.
And you get back and you're like, oh, why am I here?
Yeah. Everything's the same.
I've genuinely like lived out of home since I was like 17 because I boarded in my last year. Oh no, boarded from when I was like 16.
Yeah.
So like I've never really been at home so much. So when I left, it was like, well, I've always done long durations away. Yeah, I think I would find it harder if I was like someone who has always lived at home.
Yeah.
And you'd never moved out at all and then to go away. When I moved away to Amsterdam, I was already living out of home. So it was a kind of like just living out of home somewhere else. It's important to not confuse homesickness with just like a change.
This is hard.
Yeah.
I get what you mean. 100%.
Like you don't want to be at home. You're just experiencing a slight change. And like no matter where you were going, if you're on the other side of the world or half an hour up the road, it's the same feeling.
How do you manage cultural differences in a new friendship when you're traveling or when you've moved abroad? Like when you went to see your friend in India, were there like cultural differences I need to understand a bit more? Or like...
Hell yeah, actually.
Why'd you say that?
They had maids.
Oh, okay.
Like the help.
Yeah.
And when I first went, it got me. Got me really good.
What, in a good way or a bad way?
In the worst way possible.
Oh, why?
Bawling my eyes out.
Oh, why?
Because they had a lot of help in the house. They had like a driver, a cleaner, a chef, and one of the cleaners was like he wasn't even a young boy. He was probably like 16, 15. And I found that, wait, let me just wriggle. I found that so hard. They would like wash my sheets every 2 days. And I was like, or like try and make my bed. And I would make my bed and they'd be like, oh, no, I want to make your bed. And I was like, you don't need to make my bed for me. Like I can make my bed. Or like they would like,
you're trying to help them.
I'd
but
come
they
out,
want to help you.
And they'd be like, what do you want for breakfast? So I was like, oh, I'm fine. I can just make toast. And they'd be like, no, I want to make your toast for you. And I was like, everything they wanted to do for me, but I felt rude to let them do it for me.
Yeah, you're not used to it.
Yes. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this feels so like wrong in a way. Like I was like, you don't work for me. You don't need to do anything for me.
Yeah.
And then I think
also you think you're being helpful by being like, no, I'm okay. And they might be like, oh, she's great. Like she does it herself. When
but
actually,
they want to.
Yeah. It's like, no, this is part of our culture. This is what we want to give you. You're a guest. Like,
yes. And I found that so hard at the start, and it took my friend's family a long time to explain it to me. They were like, we obviously don't need 4 people in our house. We're employing these people.
Yeah.
And like they're being paid a wage and this is their job. They're not slaves.
Yeah.
I guess I found that really hard.
Is that common?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess like middle class families all will.
Yeah.
And I mean the fact that she went to school in Australia. Yeah, so most families will have help. And you just have to rewire your brain to think like it's a good thing. Like this kid's being employed. This kid has a bed now. Like this kid has like an opportunity at an education.
Is it seen as like a good job, or like you're lucky to get picked to do that, or is that,
I don't actually know.
Is that not maybe,
I guess,
in the culture?
I think it would be considered a good job because you're getting fed and housed and everything. And sometimes I guess people would take their like help on holidays abroad or something.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard to wrap your head around as a foreigner who's never had someone pander after you.
Yeah. Okay, so looking ahead, are there any big events coming up that you're excited about?
There was.
What?
Mexico. No, I did have a big trip to South America planned, and then that kind of fuddled up, and then I pushed my flight back to December 4th, and I can't get a living soul to come with me.
I said I would come if I had the money.
No one.
But I don't have the money.
And originally wanted to be like 6 months because I was like, it's an amazing trip. I want to do it. Like I really want to like give it a go.
Go for it.
And then it went down to 3 months, and then it went down to 6 weeks, and then it went down to 4 weeks, and then I was like, I don't want to rush it. And I was like, now just maybe isn't the right time, and I need to admit that to myself instead of forcing myself to solo travel.
I think that's important though. I do think that's really important. Like I was so proud of you when you cancelled that flight, because it was like, you're clearly not ready, you clearly don't want to go,
and it was a huge burden because I was like, I need to enjoy
and
it.
Also
now
it was all you were like, not all you were talking about, but you kept bringing it up because you were like, I think you were looking for reassurance of like, no, it'll be okay.
Do you think I should go? Like, do you think I'll be able to make friends?
Like, go. I think it's going to be amazing. Yeah. But if you're not ready to go on your own.
No, and it wasn't something I like wanted to rush or like to.
And it's so far away from here. Yeah. It's literally a whole other time, whole other like 2 time zones away. So it's not like you had family accessible to you all the time. Like it wasn't, I think it wouldn't have been as fun if you were stressing about that.
So last week I needed to admit to myself that now wasn't the right time. So I cancelled all my flights there that have been booked for like over a year.
Yeah, but you got the money back, no?
Not yet. Well, I got them on vouchers.
Oh, on vouchers, yes.
But watch this space because eventually I will fucking make it to South America. Yeah.
Well, we said, what was the trip we said we were going to do? Sam has a family house in Florida. So we were like, okay, Sam can fly to Florida from Melbourne and we'll like do some stops along the way. Like we could do Mexico, Guatemala, Jamaica.
Really want to go to Jamaica.
Yeah. And then we could like meet him in Florida.
Like I really want to go to Jamaica. And for some reason, I really want to go to this place called St. Lucia.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's beautiful.
How do you pronounce it?
Yeah, it's like gorgeous.
Because I remember ages ago I had like one of those spinny things.
Oh, fidget spinners?
No, like a globe, like that thing I'm looking at.
Oh, a spinny thing's a globe.
A globe. And I like did the thing where people would like put your finger on and like see where it lands. And it literally landed on St. Lucia, and I've never even thought about this. Was years and years and years ago. And I was like, okay, I'll go here eventually in my life. Like, yeah. I'd love to go there.
Oh my God. Yeah, St. Lucia's like
and Japan.
Waters. Everybody's raving about Japan.
Yeah, it's my nana's favorite
like,
place.
It's pretty close to here.
Yeah,
right?
lots of people like ski there from here.
Yeah, I think Japan would be cool. But my one is Fiji. That's always been mine. I'm going to Fiji.
I just went to Philippines and I would really recommend.
I haven't done any of Asia, and I've said to you, I'm not massively attracted to like doing Asia whilst we're here, because here is like work, make money,
Yeah.
travel around Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, Philippines did look
It was
insane.
Yeah, it was
like
really good.
so beautiful. But is there a good and bad time to go?
We actually went in off season, which I thought would be raining the whole time, but it really didn't.
Oh, okay.
So I would actually recommend off season because I reckon it would be less busy.
Bit
But again,
cheaper.
I would recommend it over now. I think like places like Thailand and Vietnam have been very touristified. And I think they're losing what it originally was. Whereas
yeah,
I
some
think
authenticity.
Yeah, whereas I think Philippines is yet to be hugely built up.
Mm.
And
Okay.
it's still super
What about Bali?
oh fuck no.
Oh, really?
No.
Not worth going.
Overrun by Australians.
Really?
Yeah.
I know a lot of
Lost all
Europeans
culture.
have moved there.
Like,
It
yeah.
does feel like it's been very westernized, especially during
100%.
COVID. Like so many people moved there to do COVID there,
Yeah.
and then I know there's a lot of British people in Bali right now that live there, like,
Yeah.
permanently.
There's
you
so
get like
many
a work from
expats,
home
yeah.
job, and it's like
Yeah.
it's just where you are.
I know there's like parts of Indonesia which are incredible. I've been to like Nusa Lembongan and like
I want to go to Jakarta.
yeah. I think there'd be like there's like islands.
There's a music festival in Jakarta.
Yeah,
I wanna go
and I
to.
think it would be really sick. But I think actually Bali and like
Too mainstream
Seminyak
now.
and kind of it depends what you're after. If you're after like a nightlife and people who speak English, like a very upscale, then Bali's great. But if you're looking for like an authentic Asian experience, I would not.
But we also have someone's birthday coming up as well. What do you want to do for your birthday? Or you haven't decided?
I haven't really decided. Kind of makes me a bit anxious. Birthdays. I'm turning 24.
I feel like drinks.
How boring though.
Yeah, but like,
I know I
Dress
could do
up.
drinks, or I'm also thinking.
if you're
like-
nervous about it, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate.
I was thinking like paintballing.
Oh yeah, you're really into this paintballing.
I'm really into the thought of paintballing.
Where's this come from?
I don't know. I just think it would be fun. Like, not many people have done paintballing.
Yeah, it
like
should be
it's an
fun.
activity, and like because I have lots of friends who are like from different walks of life who don't necessarily know each other. It's like a way to just break the ice.
Yeah.
Whereas drinks, I think everyone will just like talk to each other.
Yeah.
Whereas like paintballing, it's like you're on the same team. Like you gotta go. You're gonna get shot. You gotta go. So that could be really fun.
I know. I feel like it's gonna really bring out Sam and I's like social butterflies because we won't
Yes.
know anyone, so it will be like
You
gotta
have
go
to.
up and say hi.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not gonna speak to anyone.
Yeah. Otherwise, your team is gonna lose.
You're gonna lose. I mean, when you've got the party beforehand, you might just be like, do you know what? I want to do something chill.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate
after
like a
that."
dinner. Like I wouldn't hate
Yeah.
like everyone bring a dish or something,
Yeah,
and we could sit outside because the weather's been great.
that's true. The weather's so nice right now.
Yeah.
This is like British summer right here.
It's so nice.
like we've had these doors opened and it's like
so nice.
beautiful.
So maybe by like a month from now, it might be great.
if you came back to London with me, what would be the first thing you think we'd do together?
I'd probably go get a Greg's cookie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go and get a sausage roll.
Yeah.
There's a brand over here. I don't know what they're called. I think it's like a parking brand, and they use the same colours as Greg's. And when we first arrived, we thought it was a Greg's,
Oh.
and it turns out it's like, I don't know, like buildings for car parks or whatever. And we were just like, that is heartbreaking. I was so excited for like a sausage
Greg's.
roll. We literally were like, oh, they have a Greg's.
Go to Oxford Circus and walk around.
Oxford Circus, yeah, that'd be fine. Go shopping.
I know.
Regent Street.
You have like an Arquette and everything.
I have what?
Arquette and Weekday.
What's that?
They're so nice.
Oh, Weekday. Oh, their
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Weekday.
Yeah.
As soon as you said that, I was like, cool. But what's
I
the other
love
one?
It's like another kind of weekday vibe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is Weekday like is like Cotton On?
Yeah, I guess.
In one sentence, what do your female friendships mean to you?
Everything. I can't put it in one sentence. It's so important to have female friendships. You'd go nutty. Girls just get girls in another way.
I feel like especially in your 20s, like
Yeah.
finding your female friendships is like, it brings you closer on a different level
Yeah.
because everyone's in the same boat.
I think what you get out of a girl friendship is so much more than you could get out of a relationship in terms of like feeling properly fulfilled.
It's like a different level of knowing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love the girls.
Okay, well, that is it. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
It's okay.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. I feel like I banged on. Like, I'm probably going to go for like ages. I don't have enough storage.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Amelie Maran Podcast. Bye.
Bye.